There we go. Okay. Almost recorded that with no sound on the video. Doreen would have been so sad. Okay, perfect. Well, let's get started. We'll start in a seated position. And although I was sitting on that block, and I'm very aware of my sits bones currently. For sitting on that block for the discussion portion of things. So just sitting in a comfortable position, whatever that means to you, however that looks. Start to notice the posture of the spine. Start to maybe sit up just a little bit taller. Squeeze those shoulders up by the ears. Roll them all the way back and drop them down. Let the arms relax. And take a nice big breath in. Big inhale. And a big exhale. Maybe let the eyes close. Let the hands just rest wherever they're at, either alongside the body or on the legs. And then just start to let that gaze go inwards. And the eyes are closed, but what can you still see? Maybe you start to trace the breath, noticing the lungs, maybe even visualizing the breath, feeling the lungs and having them expand, feeling that rib cage. Find a little bit more space. That exhale to softly feel everything sink back towards center. Where is your center today? Is it more of that heart center? Is it a little bit lower? Is it right in the middle of the abdomen? I find sometimes my center moves and shifts around. It's not always in the exact same spot. So starting to take another big breath in. Really filling the lungs, breathing into that diaphragm. Have both spaces become very full. And take that slow exhale. Feel almost like the lungs and the diaphragm coming together, finding that middle point, wherever that might be today. Relaxing the jaw and relaxing the forehead, the eyebrows, a little space between the eyebrows. Setting your intention. Your little word or phrase, maybe it's an encouragement, maybe it's an I am statement, maybe you battle those inner demons with it, or maybe it's something just as simple as I am adorable. Maybe it's just something as offering as you are adorable. Taking a moment, maybe even forcing a bit of a smile or letting a smile naturally happen. Searching out that joy and a little bit of happiness. Beautiful. Let's take another nice big breath in. Take a huge inhale. Big exhale, maybe sigh it out. Start to wake up the body. Finding little wiggles to the fingers and the toes. And maybe you start to find a bit of a sway, waking up through the spine, through the hips. Maybe it's a side-to-side sway. Maybe it's a forward and back sway. Starting to explore some of that movement, almost like you're going to start to draw circles around the hips. So starting to wake up all of those nice muscles that hang out there. And just a few little circles around. And then switch and go the other way. Circles can be really tiny if you want them. Almost like a little belly dancer, or they can just be huge. Maybe they're really dramatic and you get the arms going to like a wacky baby inflatable arm. Who knows? Have some fun and let it be playful. And come on back towards that nice neutral. Beautiful. Let's make our way into an all fours position. Coming on to the knees, the hands. Creating space between the fingertips. Really feeling that little bit of extra. Take a few little cat-cow breaths. Just continue to warm up and wake up the body. So little inhales to look up. Feel that arch of the spine. Exhale around through the spine. And so I teach these many different ways. You can let these just be tiny little movements of just like looking up and curling through. where you can really get deep into it, engaging into the arms and the shoulders, stretching out through the crown of the head and drawing the ears far from shoulders. Take that exhale, really pressing into the hands, pressing the shoulder blades up. You can even start to notice the belly button pressing down towards the floor. Feel that extra bit of engagement. And as you exhale, pulling that belly button up towards the ceiling, really active. So your choice, anything as passive or active as you want here. Letting this feel really good. Our spines do so much for us. This gets into the hips, into the neck and the shoulders. This is a great way to warm up the whole back, but also that upper body. Beautiful. And then come to neutral. I was playing around with a little bit of yoga last night. So I'm gonna just play around and show you guys what I was doing. And so sit back and take a bit of a child's pose. Have the knees closer-ish together, like not that full-on wide knee child's pose, but let it be restful. So take a little moment and take a breath, let everything get really heavy. Take that tuck of the chin, and arms are relaxed and soft. And just take a full inhale. Full exhale. Beautiful. And then we're going to start to come out of the child's pose. So start to just press into the hands and start to rise back up. Feel the shoulders come over the hands. Take that exhale, start to push back towards the child's pose. Take a little pause. Start to rise back up. Then this time, bring the shoulders right over the hands and maybe walk the hands just a little bit more forward, almost coming into that low plank position like this. The knees are, or the hips aren't right over the knees. The hips are coming a little bit more forward. Feel the arms activate. And take that exhale, start to sit back a little bit more and take an opportunity to tuck the toes under. Start to feel the feet engage as you've pressed back. Start to keep that engagement through the arms. As you start to come forward, option to come into a plank position, whether that be knees down or knees up. And then from here, push back into a downward dog. Pressing into the arms, pressing into the legs, send those hips up nice and high. You can pedal it out if that feels good on the legs to start to wake up the legs, waking up the calves. Beautiful. Start to come forward back into that plank position, drop the knees down, press back to the child's pose, untuck the toes. Full breath here. So that's our little sequence. And then we'll do that a few more times. So letting it be restful as well as strengthening. So starting to come out of your child's pose, just starting to come up towards that all fours. Then you're keeping the hands together. Feeling the arms will activate. Tuck the toes under as you sit back. Holding. Coming forward, finding more of that plank position with the knees down. Start to feel the arms pressing. The shoulders are strong. Keeping that nice strength and starting to sit back. Toes are nice and tucked. Start to feel the feet press in a little bit stronger. And this time coming into that plank position, maybe lifting the knees up off the ground. And pressing into the hands, finding that downward. Setting those hips up nice and strong. Beautiful. Option to stay here in your downward dog for this full breath, or to roll back into your plank position and just take a little dip. Just let the shoulders or the elbows just start to bend. Press back up. Find the downward dog. Come back towards your plank. Let the knees drop down. Untuck the toes. Press back, child's pose. Take a full breath. Let the body relax. Start to rise up. Sending the body forward. Beautiful. Come on back. Rolling forward. Pressing into those hands. Finding a little bit more strength. Maybe tucking the toes here. And sitting back towards the feet. That's a nice forward and back motion. Still keeping the engagement through the arms. Maybe you come forward. Maybe those knees come to just a bit of a hover. You can press back, keeping the knees hovered. And then press forward into that full plank and find the downward dog. It's a little ways to modify, making it just a little bit more challenging each time. Keep pressing into those arms. Find that strength, taking either your breath in your downward dog or rolling into that plank position. Take a little dip, a little half chaturanga, just a touchdown. Press on back up, back towards downward dog. So good. Feel that nice stretch. Send the hips up, straighten and lengthen through the back. Back towards plank. Drop the knees. Take your child's pose. Full breath. Let it be restful. Maybe even bring the elbows in a little closer and let the head drop down. That was our last little series of that. Taking a nice big breath in. Big breath out. Start to press in towards those hands. Coming back just to a tabletop with that nice all fours. Hands right under the shoulders. So bringing those hands back in. Beautiful. Send the left toes all the way back. Then drop the foot down, so spin the foot outwards. And this right foot can start to kick out towards the side as you reach that left hand up. So a little gate pose. Option to stay here with the foot down on the ground and to really practice just squeezing into that core. Almost like you'd want to start to float the foot up. Maybe it just comes up an inch. Or maybe you squeeze and activate into those hip flexors until lift the leg, adding that nice flexing towards the foot. Excellent. Take a nice big breath here. Draw the ears far from the shoulders. Keep finding length. And exhale. Foot comes back down. Hand rolls down. Bring the knee back in. Take a gentle sway from side to side. Coming towards that other side. So finding your stillness in your tabletop. And the right foot presses back and drops open towards the side. So drop the whole inside edge of the foot down. That left foot can start to kickstand out for that extra bit of support. Then the right hand can either come to hip or reach up towards ceiling. Start to feel that nice stretch, the stacking of shoulder over shoulder. Drawing the ears far from the shoulders. And starting to engage into that hip flexor. Maybe just bring the heel up off the ground. Maybe bring the whole foot up off the ground. Add that flex into the foot. If you're really going to squeeze in, feel that activation right into those obliques. So nice and strong. You keep holding here for a full breath if you're able to. Beautiful. Drop the foot back down. Bring the hand down. Come back towards that neutral. Sway your hips from side to side. Find your stillness. And tuck those toes under. Adjust the hands as you press into that downward dog. Just taking a full breath in, full breath out, and then starting to walk the feet towards the hands, making your way towards a forward fold. So as janky and awkward as it is, at some point the hands need to lift up off the ground. And just relax. You can start to pedal out the feet, maybe waking up into those hamstrings. Such a nice way. Getting to the glutes and the back of the legs. Come to stillness. Take an inhale, find a halfway lift. Press the hands in towards the legs, roll those shoulders back and down and really lengthen that spine. Maybe get a little adjustment, little cracks and pops starting to happen. Bend the knees, sink the hips, keep the length in that spine as you come into your chair pose. Whether that be hands still braced on the legs, hands at heart, or maybe you take a little moment and reach it up. Beautiful. Inhale to lengthen, tuck that tailbone under. Exhale, sink it back down. So whether you be in a nice bar stool, you can be up a little higher, or maybe you sink it down to that kitchen chair. Maybe you drop it a little bit farther down, sitting on a small stool. Beautiful. Find the strength of the legs. Press into the heels as you press all the way up to standing. Take a nice big stretch up. Really reach those arms up nice and tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful. Step the left foot back into a high lunge position. And playing around with that gentleness. Maybe you're really close and you've just got a bit of a lunge. Maybe step it back wherever you're at. Keep rolling that right hip back, pressing left hip forward. Beautiful. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Just correct that posture. Feeling something through that front hip flexor, maybe into the quad. Let's deepen into that right knee, taking 3 pulses. Just deepening the right knee, just keeping that left leg nice and long. For 2. Exhale, lengthen and bend. Come back towards that neutral. We'll take 3 dips now with the left knee. Maybe you just bend the knee, or maybe you really dip it down. Maybe it taps and you come back up. Bending left knee, rising up. Excellent, last one. Come back towards that neutral, so good. Finding the strength through that right leg. Take an inhale, just find a nice big stretch, reach it up. Take an exhale, bow things down, either resting the arms on the knee or reaching down for the ground. And drop the back knee down, coming towards that nice low lunge. Working on the hips here, finding a little openness. The distance between the knee and the ankle is what we're gonna work on here. And so, take a little moment here and roll that right hip back. Imagine squeezing the foot and the knee together. Maybe you even bring them closer. If you've got like this nice little box shape happening, that's quite perfect. Squeeze, pull that right foot back, press the right knee forward. Feel that in the hips, feel that in the right leg. Feel that through the knee probably, strengthening all those muscles. Keep trying to slide that foot back. Keep trying to pull that left knee forward. You're actually using your hamstrings so much on that right side here. It is active. And then relax. So good. Bring that left foot or that left knee just a little farther back. Just not quite having that perfect box. Maybe press the leg forward, shifting the weight forward. The knee can bend over the foot. That feels good. Just getting a little more stretch there. And start to press back into that right knee. Maybe bringing the forearms onto, or the elbows onto the knee, or bringing the hands onto the knee. Starting to let this be a strong low lunge. Keep pressing hips forward. And then we'll press extra into that right leg, pressing and lengthening that leg, coming more towards that runner stretch. So maybe the toes come up off the ground and you flex the foot. You can take a bow forward if you want a little more. Releasing, coming back towards that lunge position, and we're going to get ready to come on back up. So whether you're bracing elbows on the knee or reaching down for the ground, tuck those left toes under, start to press into the legs and into the feet, then rise that torso up. Come into a warrior 2, dropping that left heel down, and maybe adjusting the stance. I always got to wiggle my feet a little bit. You're going to reach those arms out nice and long. Sink into that right knee. Feel free to bring the legs closer together for that extra gentleness, or maybe you tuck that tailbone under and lengthen through the spine. Finding that nice connection. Flip the right palm up, take your reverse warrior, reach back behind you. Keep bending through that right knee. Beautiful. Come on back, warrior 2. We'll go the other side. So if you did extended side angle instead of reverse, that's okay. Just do the opposite of whatever you just did. Either connecting elbow down to knee, reaching overhead. Let this be through the side body. Reach, reach, reach. So good. Float on back up. Reach it out. Let the hands relax. Take a little break. Extend through that right leg. And just giving it a little moment. Bend through the knee. Bring the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Right thumb on top. Draw the hands down. Open up. Take that exhale and start to just shift the shoulders forward and bow down for your humble warrior. So even if you hang out here, this is a wonderful humble warrior. Maybe you bend down a little more and connect that torso with the leg, letting it feel almost restful. Hands can float up off the back to get that nice shoulder stretch. If you want more here, the torso comes off of the leg, still bending deeply into it, and the head just drops and hangs heavy. Feeling that nice strength. Arms can be lifted or down. Lower the arms down if they were lifted. Use the power of the legs. So take a moment and fire up the feet here. And then float that torso all the way back up. So good. Release the arms. Take a nice little stretch out. Lengthen through that right leg. And spin the toes towards the long edge of the mat as we get ready to come into a wide-legged forward fold. I love to take a nice stretch up first and then bow down. So take that inhale and reach it up. And take that exhale, find your fold. So whether you hang out here, bracing the hands on the thighs, past the knees, maybe you have a block and you reach down for the ground, or maybe you start to connect fingertips with your head. And start to let that spine curl, tucking the chin under, letting the crown of the head come a little more in line with the floor. So even if you're up higher, just feel that relaxing little curl downwards. Even if you have connection over the floor, give that head a little shake. No. Notice the feet. Notice the knees. Do you have a bend to the knees or the legs long? There's really no wrong answer as long as you're not hyperextending. You have the weight in the heels, in the toes, towards the inside of the foot or the outside of the foot. Try to bring in a little bit of balance. Beautiful. Let's add a bend to the knees, making that nice little shelf for either the elbows or the hands to start to press into. Finding that halfway lift, that lengthening through the spine. And pressing into the feet, protecting that low back as you press in and come all the way up. Take a nice big stretch upwards. Exhale, relax the hands. Beautiful. And spin the right toes forward. And adjust the left foot. And coming a little bit more into that high lunge position. So bringing the foot just a little more off towards the side, really squaring those hips forward. You can even still be nice and close for this if this is your high lunge. Still wonderful, you can work with it here as we get ready to activate. And swing those arms up. I think we did this in our first one of my favorites. Keep rolling that right hip back. Excellent. Bring the palms to touch and just really reach the arms forward. Feel that extra bit of shift. Beautiful. Draw those shoulders back. Feel that openness. Find your center. Drop that right hand down. And then start to look back behind you. Come on back up. Bring palm towards palm. Left hand drops down. Keep the hips as they are. Just let the twist be through the shoulders. Keep pressing that right knee open. Come on back. Inhale, reach it up, optional back bend. You can either just reach up towards the ceiling or sink into it and gaze back. Reach on back up. Step towards the top of the feet. You can bend it out, wiggle it out, shake out the knees, feel the difference between one side and the next. Come into that nice, strong standing pose, working with your mountain. Feet are grounded. You can inhale, let's just reach it up, take a nice big stretch. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful. Stepping that right foot back, finding that high lunge position, your choice here. Rolling left hip back, right hip forward. Finding that bend through the left knee. Beautiful. Feeling a little something through that right side. Excellent. Bend the left knee a little bit deeper and lengthen the leg. Beautiful. Bend. Taking these little pulses here. Lengthen. Take the bend. And lengthen. So good. Come back towards that neutral wherever it was at. And start to notice the right knee. Bend the right knee. Maybe it taps down. Maybe it's just a little bend. Come on back up. Bend the knee. And rise. Last one. Bend. And rise. So good. Take an inhale. Sweep those arms up. Take an exhale. And start to either plant the knees or reach down. And then transition to that low lunge. Dropping that back knee all the way down. Bringing those feet to make that nice little square, so a little closer together than you normally would. Starting to really activate. So really starting to drag that left foot back, but it doesn't actually move. Feel the leg be super engaged here. Start to press that right knee forward. Feel the hips really square up. Feel everything be nice and active. And maybe remember to lengthen through the spine. And so good. Keep squeezing, keep pulling, keep that activation. And then exhale, relax. Walk that right knee a little bit farther back. Coming more towards that lunge and press the hips forward. Getting that nice stretch through right side. Excellent. Coming back a little more towards neutral. And starting to press up. Coming either hands onto the knees or elbows. Maybe bring those shoulders right over the hips. Keep pressing those hips forward if you can. Beautiful. Inhale and lengthen, either just drawing the crown of the head up, or if you want to get the arms involved, you're welcome to. Exhale. Let the elbows hang out, or you can reach down for the ground as we get ready to come up towards standing, tucking those right toes under, pressing into the legs, lifting that right knee, adjusting the feet as you need to, as you strengthen through the legs, and then rise on up. Nice inhale, maybe reach it up. Exhale. Let's find that warrior two, dropping that right heel down, adjusting the feet. Maybe they spin. Hands can be on the hips. We're gonna reach it out, keep pressing that left knee open. Maybe you sink a little deeper. Left palm flips up as we take reverse warrior. We're reaching up towards the ceiling, reaching back behind us. Right hand can hang out on the hip or slide down the leg. Keep bending through left knee. Beautiful. Float on back up to that nice warrior two. And exhale, elbow towards knee, that nice extended side angle. Feel that nice stretch through the arm and the rib cage as you really reach. So good. Come on, back up. Reach it up. Lengthen through that left leg. Let the hands drop. Spin those left toes towards the long edge of the mat. Coming towards that wide-legged forward fold. Take that nice inhale. Find that nice stretch upwards. Engage the legs. Protect that low back as you bow down. Coming towards that beautiful wide-legged forward fold. Maybe you add a little bend from one knee to the next. Maybe you shift weight forward and back. Just let this feel good. Let this be this nice resting pose. Feel that nice stretch through the legs and the hips. Maybe through the inner thighs. And then start to bend through the knees, rise up halfway, whether that be elbows down or hands down. And press into the legs, come all the way up, take a nice big stretch up. Release the hands. And spin those left toes forward. And coming more towards that little warrior two. Bring that right hand forward. Hopping up into that high lunge position. Keep rolling that right hip back. Beautiful. Maybe palms come to touch. As you reach forward and pull through the shoulders. Feel that little hunch happen. And pull those shoulders back. Feel that openness through the collarbone. Find neutral. Beautiful. Coming into that nice little twisting with the left hand dropping down, reaching back behind you. Feel that right hand reaching forward. Feel that left hip roll back just a touch. Trying to let this be all about the back. Bring the left hand back forward. Beautiful. Trying to keep the hips as they are. Now drop a right hand back. Beautiful. Come on back up. Take an inhale. Maybe you just reach up towards the ceiling, or maybe you find that crescent lunge, that little back bend, gazing up towards the ceiling. Come on back up. Reach it up. Exhale. And drop the hands. And step that back foot just a little bit more forward. Just realized I forgot to add that nice runner stretch in. So we can get it here through our pyramid stretch. So coming to where both legs can be nice and straight. Roll that leg back. Beautiful. Extend, press into the legs, draw nice and tall. And then take that little forward fold. So maybe it's just a touch. You'll start to feel it through that left side. Just a nice way to get into that left hamstring. If you're not feeling anything, then you can probably bring the feet a little bit farther apart, but just not compromising by hunching into the shoulders. Coming out nice and safe at the bend to the left knee. Come on, back up. Step towards that top of the mat. Take a nice big inhale, reach it up. Take an exhale, find the fold. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees so you can plant the hands all the way. Take a nice big step back. And drop the knees. Take a wide knee child pose. So add some space between the knees. Reach it out, drop the head down. And let the arms relax, let the body be soft. We'll take 5 breaths here. Feeling the body cool down, feeling that reconnection. Breathing in and breathing out. Starting to do wiggles with the fingers. Wiggle into toe. And press into the hands to rise up and come towards you. Maybe you let the eyes close. Just coming to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like. Noticing the posture, finding length through the spine. You can inhale, let those shoulders rise up, and exhale, they roll back and down. Remembering that intention, maybe letting it go as practice draws to a close. Maybe thinking of a new intention for the rest of your day. Bringing the hands towards heart center. We'll take just one cleansing breath to release anything else we no longer need. Getting ready, find that big breath in. And big exhale, let it all out. Let the eyes start to flutter open. May the rest of your day be filled with joy. And may you always be blessed. Namaste. Well, guys, that's it.